Yo, Tony B back with the mega micro reviews. I try to get the review under 2 minutes, give you some information, or anybody, maybe there's a book you're on the fence about, or maybe you just want to, take a little peek and see what's up. That's what it's all about. Love the comic book community, and let's get into this. The DC pile was pretty big, so I split it up. We'll start off with Absolute Superman. This is one of my favorite absolute titles. I really can't give you a number one on those, but this issue right here is Brainiac is trying to break Superman. So they have captured Superman, and he has him in like you see him all tied up. They got the kryptonite on him, doing what kryptonite does. So Brainiac needs to break him by having him take someone's life in the simulation. And what's really cool about this, the writing, you get to a point where you don't know what is the simulation and what's not. They did a fantastic job of that. And as always, the artwork, it's great. You will also get more of a peek into Brainiac, his lab, and he has clones of himself. So there's more Brainiacs in his little ecosystem. And it introduces he has a severe fear of the father box, which is interesting, mother box and, the regular, this is the father box, tomato, tomato. But they have Soul, the suit, they have that contained. So they have Superman. And Ra's al Ghul, he's the one that they want to break him so they can reform him. It's kind of like boot camp. Tear you down, build you back up. So these simulated worlds, it's pretty creative. And there we have the traitor from the last issue, which was a total shock. Well done, guys. Well done on the, keeping that under wraps. But that is Talia. So that was a cool reveal. And they have Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen under guard for helping our guy Soups. So it's a lot of simulation. And one thing that's really cool about this is Superman whispers so low that he's able to communicate with Brainiac's extra clones, which he treats them bad. I mean, brutally bad. He has them, like, if they say something he doesn't like, he has them, like, cut their eye out or cut their tongue. He calls it a demerit. It's pretty dark. So Superman whispers enough to try to turn his clones against him. And it starts to work. And, this was great, too. Lois Lane's father comes to save her. And it's pretty slick how he gets in. He is a double amputee with his legs. And that's how he gets a weapon in. And the dude's tough. So you get more back and forth, them trying to escape. And for example, this is a simulation where they're trying to get him. That's the breaking point, getting him to kill somebody in the simulation. And I'm not quite sure what that really, I don't know. It does make sense, but it's hard to explain the purpose behind it. I guess it's changing your character, breaking your morality. So, yeah, they make it here, and this is crazy. They immediately, her father that was shocking to see that. So he's gone, and it was Talia that did it. So now what that sets up the narrative later on is Talia and Lois Lane are going to be going at it. I think that's going to be great stuff later on in the series. And this is where I don't know. Superman influenced the clones enough where they released Soul. Now, I don't know if this is a simulation, though. This could all be, a simulation. So Superman gets out. He's got him. And Brainiac's teasing him to do it. And Soul's like, hey, I'm getting out of here. I think this isn't a simulation, but great issue as always. I think this series is a little bit underrated, but if you're reading any absolute titles and you don't have this one, I think you will enjoy it, especially when they start coming to a point where they start integrating all the absolute titles. It's a really fresh take on the Superman mythos. It's totally enjoyable for me, and I totally love Brainiac. He is my villain of the year, and hopefully it stays that way. You know it is. Brainiac's always been like a staple of a bad guy, but it's great action. I mean, if you don't know anything about Superman, it's very, the tension is very high. There's great action. There's twists and turns. So that may give you a little bit more if you don't know that much. It's that type of book. Bam! Absolute Green Lantern. Now we get more of a peek into what is going on. The one thing I will tell you is the horror element faded off for me, and I was totally enjoying the horror element, but it was like a twist on the narrative where I'll get to that part where we find out that Abin Sur is doing something other than what we thought. So it's a good twist. We are introduced to Agent Chase, and I really like this character. She got some attitude, that's what I'm telling you. So this is a good character to introduce. And we get a thorough explanation of what's going on. Maybe not 100%, but enough. The only thing I didn't, and Jon Stewart is really taking he's the guy that's really explaining this. So each color, it's like they're recruiting for the different spectrums. And this is the way that they do it. And there's different stages they go through, which I think is interesting. That expands upon it evolves the mythos of just a ring looking for who's worthy. This has stages. It's almost like an interview process where you have more than one interview. That's kind of how it feels. But I like that idea. It's fresh. And so each color represents what they did in a previous issue. And he explains all of them. Like all of them don't have fear. So that'll be interesting with the yellow spectrum. And the big mystery is the black hand, which I like that. So all he can feel is fear. So we find out there's a lot of fear related with the black. And they explain that. You get a definition of all these colors. I'm not going to get deep into it here, but you do find out Mogo. This is like a first appearance of Mogo, the planet. So it's cool that they're integrating more of the Green Lantern main universe stuff. And it's really just more explanations. And we find out here pretty much our hero goes against some of the rules. I don't know if they're rules or how things work to save Hal from what he has been transformed into. And it works. And it has a reaction, which Hector Hammond, I'm glad he's in this. He's going to be your main antagonist, is the way I'm fleshing this out. And it'll be interesting to see how the narrative evolves in the future where we get more intergalactic type antagonists and villains. We'll see how that goes. But right now, the Hector Hammond is going good. So here's all the black coming out. It's like a purge. And he's collecting data. He's pretty much aligns with his, the main continuities type stuff. So the object disappears. He gets his data, and we'll see what he does with it. And I believe they transport it to the moon, if I'm not mistaken. And so now you got Simon. He's in on this. I wasn't too sure about, I don't know about all that he's like an agent, but I don't know. That one's I'm like that. You know what I mean? If you have a different take on it, let me know. But I do like this Agent Chase. So she will play a role, and bam, that's where you get it. So you're left with, I mean, some pretty cool question marks, I think. Her showing up, Agent Chase is becoming involved in this. You're introduced to Simon. You're getting an explanation of the stages and what the purpose is. So it's setting up good. My viewpoint, as far as like, I mean, I could definitely say it's below Absolute Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman. I mean, I'm kind of ranking it there. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens. I totally love Green Lantern, and I think it's going to pick up, man. I'm going to be positive. Detective Comics. 1,100. Tons of awesome variant covers. I've changed my viewpoint on them. If I like them, I'm going to get them. I'm going to enjoy them. They're collectibles. You know what I'm saying? So this one, Jock did this one. He's a great artist as far as like minimalism and, man, heavy use of space. Like this whole black space, it means something. Like visually to me, it means something. And it's a full cover. It's really fantastic. I'm glad I have this cover. And DC, man, they're killing it with the covers. Like they'll give you the cover A under that. I totally dig that. So you're spending an extra buck to get the alternate cover. And I know it's not the original A, but I think it's cool. There is a couple of really good stories in here. I'm not big on one shot, multiple stories in this modern era. Some of them feel real, I don't know, just kind of filler type. But this one's really cool. A kid, I'll highlight the two that I thought were really cool. A kid, he's lost his dog, and this one's all silent because the kid cannot hear. And Batman recognizes this. I thought that was so cool just to have a book like this. And he needs Batman's help to find his dog. So Batman, he knows sign language and he's communicating with the child, which is real endearing to me. I dug it. And it really shows you that Batman, he's more than just the Dark Knight. There's a lot deeper there, especially with children. Because when he was a child, he went through some tremendous trauma. So I totally like how he communicates with the child. And the artwork is done to such a great degree or expressiveness where you can really tell what's going on. You don't need words at all to figure it out, or sign language. You can tell what's going on, and that's a fantastic job by the writer and the artist. So we're introduced to this cat. Is this the first appearance of the Bat Hound, maybe? I don't know, but I think it's cool that Batman has a dog. And Batman does what he does. I like how they put a hint of the Dark Knight in this. You don't go messing around with some kid's dog, man. That's some serious stuff. I'm a dog lover, by the way, so that's another reason why I thought this was extra cool. You know, and I totally love the color change here. It's really cool. Yeah, Batman's like, yeah, brother. So yeah, it's a very heartwarming story. If you're into feel-good stories, you know, it's good to have them around every now and then, especially with a lot of the drama that goes on in the world. It's cool to see something like this. And the kid pays him off because there's an award. I think that's cool as well. So yeah, Lost and Found, great story. Tom Taylor, shout out to you. Mikhail Janin, art, colors, and cover. Great job. Really cool. The other story, each story is good. They feel more than just filler. There's more purpose behind it than some of these modern multi-story books that I run into. But the other one that is just fantastic is the last one, The Fall. Check out this artwork. If anything, buy this book for this story. The artwork is fantastic. You know, Dan Waters, great writer, man, doing, I believe, Absolute Wonder Woman. There's some other ones I can't think of off the top of my head, but when I see that name, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good story. And so what this is, as far as a review, is this character, we don't know who he is, and it's okay. He just like catch me. And it's Batman's inner dialogue of how he's gonna save this person with them falling. And the writing is so good, it builds tension like you wouldn't believe. And the artwork is fantastic. So you're getting, when Batman's narrating what's going on, it's more than just him calculating what he has to do and all that. He talks about what the guy is going through in his mind. He's done this before and he knows. And just when he explains it as the action is unfolding, it really is, it's really profound, actually, because you can totally relate in a way, like with tremendous fear like that. It's totally like a believable, okay, that is what happens. And he describes how this goes to that, to the screaming and the flailing. Like it's so profound. It's almost like a life and death type story where the closer you get to death, man, it changes. It really does. Here's a really good part where Batman is like, I think he's screaming. It's really profound. And the artwork, I mean, look at that. The panel work, it's really great. It mirrors what's going on, the tone. So, and you don't get finality, which I love, where, man, I'm going to read it to you. Like, I reach out. It could be enough. This close, the concrete isn't gray. It glitters. And then, I mean, that's it. That is fantastic writing, folks. When I was younger, I didn't understand stuff like that. Like I had no, I don't know if it's an appreciation for it or I just, hey man, if there wasn't someone getting punched out, I just wasn't into it. But, you know, later in life, I started appreciating writing like that, just small snippets of sentences that are just profound. But man, boom, Batman 1, Matt Fraction, Jorge Jimenez, great stuff. This is a fantastic start for, I guess it's a reboot, folks. You know what I mean? I'm kind of getting over that. Like I wouldn't get upset, but I was like, man, quit resetting stuff to 0 or 1. Like, I get it. You want to sell more books, but man, we'll go on to the mega micro review. You're really, check it out. That's really good. So there's a, man, I'm kind of forgetting what I read, but, oh, Clayface. Clayface has escaped. Batman needs to track him down. And one highlight of this book is the description of the technology that he uses and the artwork. They both go together. They match. The tone is on point and the artwork is there. So there's a lot of, I mean, look at that. That's all you got to do. Keep it simple. Vast colors in the dark. I like that title. So we're getting more Vandal Savage setup. This is really a setup book, really. And he has his own, there's a big emphasis on him having his own meta-human squad or vigilante squad. And he's very adamant about, hey, if you see this, call it in. My guys will take care of it. So the narrative is going to get to a point where I'm excited to see how that squad develops and who's on the squad. Weapons and all that stuff. So Batman, you know, he's doing what he does. And there's a lot of detective work here to track down Clayface, he's not himself, he's evolved, or he's just losing it. And this is really cool too. I love this, where Jarvis, who is not around anymore, passed on. He has like an AI version of Al. I haven't seen this yet. If you've seen it in another book before this, let me know. I'd like to get into that. So it's really cool. It's a great way to integrate AI into a comic book as far as a usage that a hero uses. And plus, Alfred's always been an integral part of Batman's makeup. It's like his center. Like, his piece. And it's also, you know, he would get advice from him. It's just, Alfred's just great. You just can't get rid of him like that. It's pretty sad, but I get it. Changing things, change is good. Do love this, where he's like the easy way or the hard way. And I do like the little explanations. So they get into some dialogue, and his AI kind of talks Batman into a different approach, that people are redeemable. There is a theme of that in here. Can you change? Can you be redeemed? And I feel like they did a really good job with explaining that. And instead of coming to blows and conflict, it turns different, which is cool. So we do have a lot of setup for further narrative evolution of what's going to happen, especially with Vandal Savage and his group. And also, you're in there with I don't know, the police. This is what I was talking about with the task force. They need to call in that task force. So it makes me wonder if he's going to get a beat down from this task force. So there you go. Great start. And I'll forgive him for putting a 1 on it. I just got to lighten up on some of these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, just enjoy the hobby, Tony. Also, man, I doubled up on that one. I enjoyed it. Even got the foil. But yeah, here you go. Boom. Top book for me right now. Dark Patterns. Starting a new story arc. The Child of Fire. Love this artwork, man. Sherman is just great. Let's see, this is Waters. This is what I'm talking about. So you get a good review of the first 3 stories. Each one of these is a symbol of those 3 stories. So the new antagonist gets right down to it. Love this panel work. It is brilliant. You're going from warm to cool. Great. I was just mesmerized. Like, just, you get lost in the flames. Like, I'm always looking for clues or hints. That's how cool and mysterious this book is, man. It turns you into a detective. Man, get on that ride. It's fun. So these 2 people go by a window, and then this is our main antagonist. And this is not Firefly, but we'll get into that. Batman is recovering. He was shot in the back in the last story arc, so he's been out. I can't get over the panel work. It is so dynamic and different. Really great job. Now I wonder, here's a question for everybody. Who do you think it's the writer that dictates how the panels are, or is that just all artists, or do they both? It may be, I don't know. That's a good question. So here we have Firefly introduced. Remember, this is Batman in his 3rd year, so everything's a little fresh. So Gordon here is trying to get a bead on who this new antagonist is. He's doing his detective work. And there's a lot of good writing here. This series, the writing is very profound. It's very, I'm saying clever, but it's very intriguing. It's good stuff. And you have, a huge reveal here. Like the pathologist, there is Batman's remembering a conversation he had with a guy in the media that gave him the deets on that dude. And that dude's been creepy since day 1. If you've been reading the book, you know what I'm talking about. He's a pathologist that's been helping Batman, and Batman has always leaned towards not trusting this character. And they give you his background of why, I believe it's secrecy. Yeah, he was doing really hardcore, like, donated bodies, like, it's really, like, you have to read it to really, I can't do it justice with a micro review, but they talk about how they would like use hallucinogens to like get through doing something like this, but it's almost like the work that he's doing, like, is unhinged. Yeah, there's like documentation of he unearthed the body and it was speaking to him. So there's some unhingement there, some mental trauma. So it told him it could feel everything that was being done to it, and it begged him for help. And he obliged. Now, what that help is, I don't know. They kind of leave that unresolved there, but it's like, it's got to be like crazy. So, back to the antagonist and his deeds. So he's setting Batman up and starting fires, so it's kind of like a call out. And they're in the pathology lab, I believe, when this happens. Yeah. It's kind of ironic. That's where they're at after talking about that. And so we get this. It'll be interesting when they put a name to that. It's a huge person. So they reveal themselves to Gordon. Really, that's really on purpose. Like this character wants a confrontation with Batman. Not sure why. Maybe they want to be stopped. Maybe they want help, like the doctors hearing bodies telling him they need help. That's interesting. We'll see. So Batman comes in, man. He saves the day. You know it. This panel, I can't get over the dynamic panel work. Freaking awesome. So that's really what this issue is. It's an introduction, a very great introduction, and more of a reveal, character development. We're getting more of that, especially with that pathologist. I was totally curious how that was going to unfold. And I think this antagonist has something to do with the doctor, because right there he has him. Totally love this line talking about how the city's been burning with the fever. That was mentioned in some previous issues, and he says it's about to break, and look at that. Like, it's totally cool. Sometimes things are just cool, and that was. So yeah, he reveals himself. I'm not sure who that is. Like, if that is someone that's already been, I think that's the media guy. Yeah, I really do. So whatever he told Batman could be a lie. Love dark patterns. If that's the media guy, let me know, man. Let's take a peek back. When I first read it, I didn't put that together. That's why I love doing these little micro reviews. Like sometimes it totally looks like him. Sometimes I see things on the second viewing. Yeah, I totally think that's him. So pretty good. So the setup is in. So now you can't trust anything the dude told Batman. But yeah, this is my top book right now. I'm going to hate it when it stops, but hey, that's the way it is. I'll always have it. I can reread it. Man, it's a heavy Batman and a little absolute outro.